Hey everyone, Chip Rogers. We're here at Channel Partners event, and it's crazy. It's really good. Taking off like crazy. A bunch of people.
Yeah, it's jumping. It's great energy.
Yeah, yeah. So so excited to be joined today by Craig Walker, and Craig is co-founder and CEO of Dialpad. And Dialpad is just doing fantastic these days. Just you started the company 14 years ago, and it's just now you're, 1,400 employees, and it's just fantastic, taking off, great growth.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. Yeah, I still remember when it was 4 people in my pool house in the backyard. So now that it's 1,400 people around the world with offices in 7 different countries, it's pretty amazing to look back and see what's happened.
That's exciting and really gratifying. You know, I'd love to chat a little bit about some of the. I mean, you can't have a conversation in technology without talking about AI, and I know you guys have put a lot into your AI capabilities. Tell me a little bit about that and how customers are reacting.
Sure. Yeah. So thanks for that. Yeah. So when we started the company, me and my co-founders used to run the Google Voice product. And so what we really wanted to do was leave Google and build or take what we had built for consumers in the Google Voice product and really make the next gen ultimate modern service for enterprises. And but along the way, that was the journey, that's what we're still doing. But in 2018, I got a demo of a real-time AI company whose focus was on business conversations. It was called 𝗥𝗲𝗀, was backed by Salesforce. And in the middle of their demo of them simulating a sales call, it was literally checking off topics that were covered and questions asked and question answered. And I'm like, it was like one of those moments of like, okay, not only do we need to build the best, most integrated, beautiful, easiest to use, delightful, highest quality product, but now we got to be able to understand the conversation and what's actually happening in the product, in those calls. Right. And so we straight away went out and acquired that company, brought that team in, added a lot to that team, built that into the core of our offering. And so now, since 2018, any conversation you're having on Dialpad, we're understanding it in real time. We're able to determine sentiment. We're able to suggest next best steps. And then when the agentic OpenAI thing came about, right, we were able to then build our own generative AI model. And so we have a much better cost advantage, much better quality advantage, much better speed advantage because it's running on our stuff. And it's much safer because most of your data is staying inside a Dialpad versus going out to a third party. And so it's one of those things where the cloud communication enterprise market got a big boost from COVID. Obviously, you had to work from anywhere. That's what we were built for from day one. Yep. And then this real-time AI being able to coach and make people better at their jobs, we were 6 years ahead on that. And then all of a sudden, OpenAI comes out. So I feel like we've been blessed pretty well on a couple big segment mover industry shifts, yeah, that really played into where we were.
That's amazing. So your team was already, like you said, 6 years ahead as soon as ChatGPT came out. So now everybody's trying to, you're like, we got this. We've been doing it.
Yeah, it's funny how quickly everyone else in the industry instantly changes their websites and starts saying the exact same things. But there's a real difference in quality and difference of how you approach things, of having core, real proprietary native AI optimized for this specific task, yeah, versus hiring a bunch of prompt engineers who are just going to go ask ChatGPT to tell it something. So it's kind of hard looking at the messaging to tell the difference, but once you see the product and once you get a POC, if our sellers are doing a good enough job, we'll be able to show the real difference.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So we are here at the Channel Partners event. Tell me a little bit about Dialpad. I know you guys work with a ton of partners, and they're really strategic to your success. Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about what that means to Dialpad.
Yeah. So we've been heavily invested in the channel for a long time. Mike Kane's our head of channel. He's fantastic. He's really built it into a really successful and growing organization. But we have a lot of traditional channel partners, and what used to be called master agents, I guess are now TSDs, and all the advisors underneath them. But we also have a handful of strategic partners as well. T-Mobile for Business and Google are two of the biggest. SoftBank in Japan is another one. And in all three of those cases, both our sellers and their sellers work together to bring Dialpad to both new and existing customers. And it's just a really nice, and both Google and T-Mobile for Business have representation on our board of directors too, and they're investors in the company. As is SoftBank, they don't have the board seat, but they're also an investor. So we have just really great distribution partners and strategic partners, as well as, like the TSDs and the channel. I come to this show every single year. It's my favorite show of the year because every single person I meet with is out there amplifying the Dialpad message and selling Dialpad and getting their sub-agents totally fired up on it. So it's kind of like the Super Bowl of how to get to see them all in one place at one time.
Yeah, that's terrific. So, what is the multiplier with partners? It's clearly geography, industry. Like, where are the places that partners help you grow?
So we have our own direct sales team as well. We have an inside sales team. We have a field sales team for larger enterprises, but it is the multiplication that you get from the channel partners. They know when there's a live deal out there, right? So every time a channel brings you into a deal, there's a deal happening, like it's in flight. Although there'll be other providers in there and you gotta outshine them, it's at least a real deal that's happening. Whereas, a marketing-based lead or self-sourced by a seller, there may or may not be an actual initiative happening right then. So having
much more qualified,
it's a real project and it's going to happen, and now you just have to outshine the other folks and win the business. So it is a real big multiplier. And by the way, we have a pretty healthy sized sales team, but there's 5,000 plus agents out there selling Dialpad, and so that's a level of scale that I'm never going to reach anytime soon. So it just is a true force multiplier of how to get Dialpad into everyone's hands and at least educate the market on everything we're doing.
Yeah, that's terrific. What this week? What are your plans? Any meeting obviously with partners and customers? Any announcements or anything that you want to share?
We did I had a keynote this morning where we talked about kind of how do you have a future-proof AI contact center solution, because there really are two camps emerging in the space. One is traditional providers basically saying, trust us, we're going to be the best solution for you, and we're going to make your agents smarter by our integrated AI. And then there's this whole group of newly funded Silicon Valley-backed startups that are saying, you don't need any agents anymore, we're going to do it all with agentic AI and AI-powered robots, so you're going to save a ton of money on humans, and it's just going to be so much better for everyone. And the truth is somewhere in between those two, but our entire approach is we're going to be the provider that is able to provide that entire spectrum. It's a future-proof platform. If you have a complicated solution that'll never be offloaded to an agentic, 100% AI agent, awesome, we have the best solution for you. If you have a very specific use case that you don't need humans to answer the same question a million times over, awesome, we have the perfect solution for you. And if you're somewhere on that journey in between, we have that solution too. So that's really been our focus as a company and the products we're developing. But it's a very real quandary for a lot of people, because they're like, what do I do? It's for buyers, what do I do? For channel partners, what do I sell? And for our competition, how do we cover that surface area? We're pretty excited about already having that built in and being able to provide that whole future-proof solution.
That's fantastic. Craig, thank you so much. We just came from the Dialpad space, and it was hopping. A bunch of people, customer meetings, a lot of things happening. So, congratulations on the tremendous growth and success of Dialpad. This idea that started in your garage, right?
Yeah. It's come a long way over the last 14 years for sure. But thanks so much for chatting with me.
Yeah. Thank you, Craig.
Love it.
Appreciate it.
All right.
And thank you all for joining, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.